Hi,
Hi
Joan. How
there.
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. I didn't get to ask you last time. How's your husband doing?
He's doing well. He's getting stronger
Oh,
every
good.
every week, so he's doing really well. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Crazy situation. So,
Yeah.
fortunately.
So, how's work been going?
It's I'm so lucky. I have the best job. I'm so
Oh,
lucky.
that's awesome.
I just
It's
love
good when you
it.
hear that from people. So often it's
Ah,
like, oh, I just hate every day. It's like, oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
no. I love it. I love what I do and I love the people I work with and I'm lucky. I
That's
know I am.
amazing.
Hello.
That's awesome. Hi, Lee.
I guess you can hear me.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
How are you doing today?
I'm glad the day's basically over.
Oh, was it a long
Basically.
one?
It's been a good one.
Listen,
lots of fun things happen.
there's only 2 weeks left
I know.
and another semester in the books.
Yeah.
I'm really glad though because I have my other two classes that I have right now. I don't like either of them. They're both so
Oh,
hard and like just so much work. I'm just like, oh, I'm having trouble keeping up.
oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really lucky. I have this class and I have a COM 150
Oh, nice.
and a lot of reading for both of them.
Hmm.
Like you have to read a lot but there's no final exams. There's no like chapter, like you go 2 to 3 chapters and then take tests. There's really very little testing and things like that. It's really more application, which has been great because last semester I had 2 classes and it was like, you know, they both were very labor intensive and they both had testing and they both had this, they both had that.
Hmm.
So I'm lucky.
Yes, I loved 150. It was
Yeah,
fun.
it's a great class. It's a great class. And I love the teacher. I mean, it seems like, which is crazy, like the hardest classes that I had were my math classes because that's just not my forte. And
Hmm.
both times the teachers were so, um, like just non-participative, right? Like it was like, just do the work.
Hmm.
Like they didn't hold classes. They didn't do it. To me, math is the hardest class for me.
Yeah.
And you need to kind of go over things, but there just wasn't, they just didn't have that. They didn't teach anything. Like you didn't learn anything from the teachers. You just kind of taught yourself. And so,
I'm sorry.
no, this has been great. This, my communication teacher, I just adore.
Which one did you
Good.
have, by the way?
Yeah, I have Sister Miller, Angie Miller.
Uh-huh. She's great.
Oh,
I've had her. Yeah.
she's fabulous.
Jordan,
So,
What's up?
nothing much. I'm kind of thinking this might be it for tonight. Bree said that she had a big test. I haven't heard from Arlie, and I don't remember if she was here the last time either. So I don't know if she's. I don't know. Maybe this time isn't working for her right now. So, do we have a volunteer for prayer?
Sure. Pick.
I don't know
There
who
was
said sure.
lead.
Sure, I'll do it.
All right, thank you.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank thee at this time as we need to meet together and to discuss our homework and to discuss the the stuff that we've talked about and read, so that we might be able to make things work for us and learn what thou would have us learn. And this we pray for in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. So this week we're talking about Ritz-Carlton.
Which, don't y'all
They
just
didn't-
want to go stay at one? I want to go stay at Ritz-Carlton now.
Yeah, I do, but I'm not sure I want to go to the Washington, D.C. one.
Yeah, no. No.
Did you guys have any thoughts about the case study? Before we start on the questions.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of trouble. Again, this is only the second one though, where I had a little bit of trouble again finding what they didn't do well, right? Like, just finding some of the problems that they had. I feel like they, when you have a CEO that comes down and talks to all the new employees, and you have that orientation. Now, certainly I think the orientation could be longer. I think 7 days is a pretty quick turnaround from street
Right.
to starting to, provide the service to customers. But, the CEO is involved in the whole kind of pep rally situation and the practical skill testing and all of that. I think that they do a really, really good job. And frankly, it being owned by Marriott Corporation, I don't know why Marriott doesn't kind of demand that from all of their properties. I don't know why, because it's the Ritz-Carlton. You should get that type of service. If they want to do the monogram pillowcase and things like that for their repeat customers, because it's a little bit more of a luxury hotel or whatever. But as far as the customer service, I think that the entire organization should be like that, not just one of their subsidiaries as at the Ritz-Carlton. And believe me, I travel a lot for work, and I've stayed in a lot of Marriotts, and service is not their the first thing they think of.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
kind
very
of,
true.
kind of interesting to me that it's the Ritz-Carlton has it, but I don't know why they don't demand that of all of their properties. But I have a girlfriend who works at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando, and she's been there for years. She does love it. Their employees do enjoy what they're doing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Lee.
Oh, I was just going to say, when I looked at what they done, the Millennium Brothers, is they tried to change a lot of things, the building wise, that they kind of cut a lot of different corners from what it was in most of the Ritz-Carltons, and I think that was a kind of a sad thing. You could have done better.
mm-hmm.
All right. Let's if nobody has anything else, let's start on our discussion things. So I put in the group chat, I put the questions they wanted us to discuss, because I know I've had problems with my headphones cutting in and out where I can't hear the questions. So the first one is, we need to define a competitive advantage.
Well, I mean, I think that, and I don't know much about the Four Seasons, and certainly, you looked at the, when you looked at the exhibits and things like that, they, they're pretty similar. I would think that, the competitive advantage again is just the, their customer service and how they, how they give the request. And I don't know, because of course we didn't read about Four Seasons, but I love the $2,000 kind of autonomy that they're given to make it right with the guest. So
Mhm.
every person, every single employee has that option
Mhm.
to, they have per incident, $2,000 per incident, to make, to make that guest happy. And that's just incredible to me that they would give their employees that kind of autonomy to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, even they said that even the maid could do that. So the maid doesn't have to get anybody else involved, you know?
Yeah,
She
up
doesn't
to
have to get anybody else
$2,000.
out there. She can just Yeah, and it's like, oh, that would resolve conflict so smoothly, you know? Nobody's getting escalated by having to repeat and repeat and repeat their grievance to this manager or that, you know? Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Well,
such a frustrating thing when you have an issue, right? And you go through the whole story, and then you get to the next person, then you have to go through the whole story, then you get to the next person, and you're like,
Mhm.
by that time, I'm sad to say, I'm screaming. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Because they were taking notes. So isn't the note in the computer? Because I
right.
just talked about this. I think they wanted, some places do that because they feel like you're going to be like, just forget it and walk away.
Mm,
And here they give them that opportunity where the customer doesn't have to deal with that type of nonsense, and it's
yeah.
incredible.
Not only that, they want to follow up within 20 minutes. Okay, to make sure that the customer's happy with the decision that was made, and then it's not just the person that follow the supervisor that follows up. It also comes back to the night manager and the day manager and the department heads. So they all see the same thing, and so they're all just doing everything they can to make sure that the person's happy.
yeah.
The other thing I
Jordan,
saw
do you have
that
any thoughts on their competitive advantage?
back to the competitive advantage, they kind of lose some of the competitive advantage when there's a contract that's given by the same company they're working for to their chief competitor. They and the reason being is because their advantage is that they're autonomous or by themselves away. If it's shared between this company and that company, what they're doing, it kind of takes away their advantage that they've got, because the other company can see where they can make things the same. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly or not, but basically I looked at the when they had the two, they signed at the same time, 4 for them, 4 for them. It kind of took away some of their advantages.
Yeah, definitely. Having some of the similar offerings can cut into your competitive advantage. Jordan, do you have any thoughts about the competitive advantage of the Ritz-Carlton, either defining competitive advantage or competitive advantages?
Sorry, I'm really trying to be here. I've gotten probably about 3 hours of sleep last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, it's kids and life. I love
Life.
it. I love it. Um,
Is life getting in the way again, Jordan?
it is. It is. It's getting in the way of my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
So, as I was reading about it, I had differences of opinion, because when they're talking about the competitive advantage and how great they are, that they have these monogrammed pillowcases and everything, that's a waste of money. I mean, if
Right?
they're coming back, thank
I
you.
love your
Hey,
finance mind, man.
okay.
That was my immediate thought. I was like, if I saw that in the hotel room, I'd be like, You're charging me way too much. If you can monogram my pillow, like, no.
That's the thing. If you are charging me so much money a night for me staying here that you can make me a pillowcase, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. So, but that wasn't a competitive advantage. That wasn't some marketing technique. That was a waste of money. Okay. If I'm going to come back, if I'm coming back enough times that you know my name, you know where I'm going to stay, why try and make it like why try and do something like that to keep me? Obviously I'm coming back. Okay. Why not take that money and try and get more people in?
Mm-hmm.
I am a financial. My mind is money. I mean, don't.
Yes, it is. I love it.
To me, this is another HR kind of thing. Of course, you would love that. I found errors through the whole thing, but that's just me.
See, for me, when I saw that, I was like, that's just a waste, you know? Like, I don't see the guest taking that sheet home, and who are you going to use it for? You know, in
And
hotels, you wash the sheets and use them again.
how,
Like,
and how many times do you walk into a hotel room when it's light enough and actually sit there and no, if you're at a hotel, especially the Ritz-Carlton, you're on business, you're out wheeling and dealing, making millions or billions of dollars. You're not in the hotel. You go in there to sleep. You turn the lights off and you sleep.
or to
So
use
that
the
was not
spa, or, you know,
or to use the spa or to go and eat or to go down to the bar
I
and
don't know.
get
I don't see
drunk.
you
I
sitting on the bed.
love
My sheets.
look at my pillow. That was such a waste of money to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I immediately thought, I I would rather have a complimentary spa something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you've stayed with us a bunch of times. Here's a
Right.
facial.
Here's
You know, and
if it was
and
not
that
for
might be more expensive to get better.
Mhm. Well, for a lot of the business world, okay, for us it's different, right? But how many people go out and settle some business deal or something over a glass of wine, over alcohol, okay? Well, you stayed here at the Ritz-Carlton. You have you brought people in. The drinks are on us tonight. Okay, that's a way to get people to come back in.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so our next question is, service can be an elusive concept. What's the essence of the Ritz-Carlton experience?
What's the essence? I mean, what do we think that we mean by that?
Yeah, please
You know,
explain a little bit.
Are we
That's
talking
what they
about
gave us, and I'm
Right. That's all it says, right?
yeah. I mean, in my thought on it was the essence of the experience is, um, someone else can do it, kind of. As I was reading and researching the Ritz Carlton for like the follow up or whatever, just the stuff that they'll do for guests. Like one guy was like, "Oh, I left my sunglasses in my car when the valet parked it, and I wanted my sunglasses to go around the city. And instead of like bringing the car around so I could get the sunglasses out, they went down to the sunglasses up to him." And it's just like those little, like the essence of the experience is like, let us do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're so
Mhm.
busy, you're so, I don't know,
Mhm.
important that any little thing will handle, kind of. So just to be comfortable and smooth, I guess. What are your guys'
Mhm.
thoughts?
Okay.
I think it was sorry, Lee.
Go ahead.
So I think Hosanna, I think you hit the hammer on the head on that one. I mean, it's okay. Once you're here, you are not really you're really not supposed to do anything. You're just supposed to
Mhm,
be here. Let
mhm,
us let us take care of you. Let us rub your feet. Let us do. I mean, I think, and I'm a farmer. I grew up out on the farm. That would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Back off and let me do it. But I would think that that would be one of the key selling points for the Ritz-Carlton, that all these high-end executives, they come in, they're exhausted, they've probably been up for 20, 30 hours straight, and they don't want to take care of anything. And I think that was one of their biggest selling points. That's the essence that they get, and that's why they're so successful, is that all these high executives, you get here, you let me take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's the essence. The essence is in the service. Like that's, you know what I mean? It's and that's really what it is. Like if you look that up, it just says the essence of the Ritz-Carlton experience is that service is a profession. Outstanding personalized service is critical in hotel business rather than just selling rooms and food. The excellence in service is what the Ritz-Carlton is selling. So they're not selling in the food. However, the Ritz-Carlton in Washington starts at $659 per night.
That's all.
And goes up to $8,500 per night
Holy cow.
to stay in Washington, D.C.
My car's not even worth that much.
I know.
Right.
I know.
And I'm with Jordan. Like, I would feel uncomfortable there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, having someone in my car, like, I don't even like to do valet parking at like hospitals and stuff, like the big hospitals. I'm like, I don't like you in my car. Get out of my car. But they're like, oh, get in my car, search for my sunglasses, right?
Yeah. Like
I'll just go down there and handle it myself. I don't know. It would be weird. Does anyone else have anything to say about the essence?
Well, I think when we look at the essence, we still have to look at what they do if there's a problem, and it comes to the LEAP thing that they had, where they listen and empathize, and then ask for clarification, and then produce a solution. I mean, that to me is the essence of what the service is they're going to find out what you want done, and they're going to take care of it somehow. So that's what
it's just providing exceptional service. Like you can't even like they provide service before you even know what it is. Like there's that commercial there, and I can't remember what it's for. Oh, it's for ZzzQuil, I think. And the boss is like talking to the girl, and she's like, "Do you know what you're wearing tomorrow? Listen, I need you to answer that before you wake up." It's like they're taking care of something before you even think that you need it. And that's just, you know, and that goes, I guess, with years of practice and years of providing that service to people, and obviously people who can stay at the Ritz-Carlton, you know, have an expectation of certain things. They're being taken care of in a lot of aspects of their life, I'm thinking, you know.
So you think it's all congressmen that are there? Sorry.
In Washington, probably congressmen and you know, diplomats from other countries and you know, and things like that. So
yeah, probably. So the next question is, what is the Ritz selling? How does the Ritz create ladies? Oh, sorry. So what is the Ritz selling? We talked about that service. We can, skip it. How does the Ritz create ladies and gentlemen in only 7 days?
I would love to know that. As an HR person, I would love to know how they do that.
Short answer, they don't.
Because they're drinking the Kool-Aid there or something. Like
there's subliminal messages in the music they're playing.
Yeah. It's the air they're pumping into the place. Something.
Yeah.
I think of the story that he told about how he was a servant from way young, and how he finally figured out that he was worth something And that was part of why he could be a servant to them, is because if he was respected by them, he could serve them better.
Mhm.
And I don't know, that kind of stuck out to me. To know that I'm not bowing and scraping to them, I'm actually serving them. Okay, which is different than what a lot of people's views would be.
Yeah, this concept actually kind of seemed weird to me, because they're like, "Oh, we're ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen," which is all well and good in training, but I've worked as a maid in a hotel, and
Not at the Ritz-Carlton.
yeah, I mean, it's true. It wasn't the Ritz-Carlton, but they don't treat you like a lady and gentleman. They don't see you as an equal. You know, they don't treat you that well. And when they get mad, they'll get in your face. And I think if you're paying $5,000 a night, you're gonna get livid pretty fast. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm
That's
like,
very typical.
so when you're like talking about it, oh, we're ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, but then you're faced with someone who doesn't see you as a lady or gentleman, doesn't see you as an equal, like it kind of, I don't know, pokes a hole in that balloon, you know, after the fact, because
Well,
it
I mean,
isn't like that.
certain extent, I think that it sounds like, again, I don't know this for a fact, but from the write-up, they're being treated like ladies and gentlemen by
Well,
the
they say we treat each other as ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't
Correct.
say that the guests have to treat you in any
No,
way.
no,
And
No.
it's
but
the
then,
guests who treat you like servants
right.
and get in your face really fast.
But the thing is, as we talked about, if a guest is getting in my face because of something that's wrong, and I can make it right
Mhm.
because I can do whatever I need to do up to $2,000 to make it right,
Right.
that's going to deflate that really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, if they start complaining about something and you say, you know what, let me do this for you, that's going to deflate that. So I think by them treating each other so well, and then management giving everybody the opportunity to be able to make that guest happy no matter what it takes to do it, that deflates the situation pretty quickly. So it's not going to be the same as, a maid in some other hotel going, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's not your job, I can't do anything about it, sorry. That just escalates it.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily the calming them down that I think is the problem. It's just the fact that,
That they
when
think
they
it's
talk about, oh, we're ladies and gentlemen, and then you don't get treated like that on a daily basis. You have complaints and, like, just, I mean, it's such a hard job. It was one of the most miserable jobs I've ever had.
I can imagine.
Cleaning those big fancy rooms would be even harder. But like, it's just such a miserable job, and to say, oh yeah, we're ladies and gentlemen, and then when you are really there and getting treated like a servant, like, it's not going to feel like that. And that's one of the things that I wrote about in my case study, was just how do they keep that morale up? Because in the beginning, when they're talking about how we treat each other and they're playing "We Will Rock You" and chanting DC Ritz, and everyone's really excited, and like, yeah, we are ladies and gentlemen, and we, and then you get to the reality of cleaning 16, 17 rooms a day, and people are mad and they're not treating you good. Like, I'm like, how do you keep that morale going? Like,
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. With the only 7 days, I don't think it's actually long enough for the training. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I'm not
I mean,
sure.
even, yeah, you're not sure what you think?
Well,
I don't know. Even when I worked in call centers, we had 2 weeks of training,
but when you worked in the call centers, did you have all the upper owners come in and teach you what they thought? And did you have I don't know. I understand what you're saying, and I think usually, I don't know, there's a lot of things to learn, so maybe not. But the upper management was trained for 30 days in front of that. Or
Yeah,
prepared.
well,
30 days.
see, I can't help but come at it from the maid standpoint. That's what I did in a hotel, and you know, he was saying that their number one thing that they were asking people, you know, what do you want in a hotel? What do you want in a hotel? And they're like, clean, clean. I want a clean room. I want a clean hotel. To get it really clean and to get your body used to that kind of cleaning, like where you're cleaning 16, 17 rooms, just down on your hands and knees, scrubbing the floor, kind of cleaning. It's exhausting, and it really takes time to acclimate. And I think that's why they start at 50% capacity and work up to the 80% because to acclimate your body. And so for sure, if they talk with the Millennium Partners about starting at 80%, they would need a longer training with like the physically demanding cleaning over and over training trial runs of cleaning rooms, because it's so incredibly exhausting and it's really hard to do it to speed, because usually there's like a time limit that you have to clean each room under. And to do it to speed, it took me almost a month to get to speed, because it's so hard to do.
Well, and I think that's why, you know, they talked about those daily department lineups occur at the beginning of every shift in every hotel. And they say, you know, like, I'm just reading it from the case study. It says our employees are on the front lines. They're always on the battlefield. So you've got to nourish them on a daily basis. You have to heal the wounds of being on the battlefield daily. Otherwise, they'll forget the real reason that they're there. So that's really how they keep that morale up every single day. They give them that pep talk, and they say it's a battlefield. They're not saying, you know, oh, you should be so grateful that you know, that you're a server here or that you're a maid here. They know it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, they tend to do those pep rallies every single day, a couple times a day before every shift. So I don't think I could work there. I think that place would just be too rah-rah for me. Some days I want to go to work and be miserable. Like, I don't want to be happy every day.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness.
I have a built-in scapegoat for that. I work at the DMV. They just assume I'm always in a bad mood.
But you know what, though? That's the expectation there. When I walk into the DMV, I don't expect anybody to be happy, and I don't expect to be treated nice. And it's like, that's the expectation. I guess when you walk into the Ritz-Carlton, you expect to be treated nice. So then if you're not, you're like, whoa, 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 what's going on? You know, it's the same thing. I mean, I go to Disney all the time. And Lee, I keep seeing your little Disney head shelf behind you. I love Mickey Mouse. He's my favorite. And, you know, I have an expectation every time I go there that, you know, it's going to be wonderful. And I have yet to be disappointed. Some days are more wonderful than others, but I have yet to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think Disney would be another one of those hard places to work, because people do come with an expectation of, especially if they've got little kids, like magic. They'd be blown away, and you've got to deliver it every day, you know. So you got to have respect for people who can just deliver that kind of experience day after day.
Couldn't work there either. Love to go there. Couldn't work there.
Can you guys think of some examples of how they attempt to make ladies and gentlemen in just the 7 days?
I think just the thought that the CEO comes in and specifically talks to each of them. That to me says just how important they are, and would tell me if I was the person that they felt I was important enough that I needed to be taught by the person that was in charge of the whole company. I mean, that to me shows that they think I'm a gentleman.
That you're important, that they walk the walk. I think that, when the CEO is there, when the managers are there, and it sounds like they promote from within a lot. So it's somebody that's probably done it, was at the beginning level, and now they're in management. So they really do seem to walk the walk. I mean, they even said, wasn't it the CEO like showed somebody how to make a bed or something like that? It was like something like that was in the case study, like a management person showed them how to do it.
Right.
So it's not that I'll sit up here and I'll tell you how to do it. I'm going to get down there and show you that I know how to do it.
Yeah, I think what you guys are talking about is really, I think, one of the only ways that they really can bring about kind of a change in the people is to show them what a high standard can get them from their life. Because I think they said that said that he started as a dishwasher in a hotel or something, and there was another guy who was a line cook, and now he was a sous chef, and one of the managers had started as what was she? I don't remember. She, really in the mundane labor force. And so to see everyone around you having you're working or something similar, and how, now they're in a nice suit and they're making a lot of money and their lives are a lot better. If you see that and you're like, if I commit to this and I bring it every day, I can, progress up that chain.
Well, adding on to that, sorry, Lee.
Go.
Well, so adding on to that, we read how one of the big managers, they come down and they tell them how to make a bed. Okay, now when you're working at the very bottom, you look up at the very top. Well, these people are so great. They're making all this money. They're so smart and everything. Well, when you see the boss's boss's boss, the absolute CEO, doing the exact same job you're doing, okay, how does that make you feel? Like your job is the most important job in the world now because the CEO does it. I mean, that's how they create, ladies and gentlemen, because there's no important jobs or unimportant jobs. Every job is important. If it's important enough for the CEO to make a bed, then then that is the most important job that you can do. And a lot of that is with your own personal mindset. And I think they do such a fantastic job with teaching the employees that you are so important to us that this is what we do.
So one of the quotes that they had was, it just basically said, because this organization cared about my career path and my goals from the onset. Okay. They demonstrated respect for my talents along the way. Okay. And that was actually what one of the CEOs was telling everybody, is that, look, this is what they've done for me from the start. Okay. It showed that they were interested completely in what was going to happen in my life. Okay. And if they're showing that they care, which that's what they're doing, is they're showing that they care. They're starting from the top down. They're showing that whatever happens in your life is most important to them. And so I think it comes back to the speed of trust thing, where you don't know how much somebody cares until you show them. Okay. And so that's what they've done. I think that's why they can make a gentleman out of the people.
Okay. Okay, how would you guys describe the leadership and values of the Ritz, and what are the strengths and weaknesses of the leadership and values?
Well, I mean, certainly the values are to provide excellent customer service and be honest and treat people like you want to be treated, and and all of that. What I thought was interesting is they go through this entire rally, rah rah. The most important thing, the most important thing, the most important thing is the guest and the customer, and making sure that the customer has a good experience, and everything is about the guest. Everything is about the guest. And then as soon as they get the management team together, and I'm sure you love this, Jordan, what it was, okay, we're all here to make money. Like, bottom line is we need to make money. So it was such a, and that was one of my problems that I saw, was that they kind of sent, for a management team, they're kind of sending a mixed message kind of thing. Like, so on one hand, are you going to say, if I have 10 employees that give out even half, even $1,000 a day, how much money is that spending? So is the company really going to make money? So, it's kind of, as a manager, I can imagine their managers get just burnt out pretty quickly, because they're constantly on that high of trying to keep everybody motivated and keeping the guests happy, but also looking at the bottom line. It specifically said the tone changed. And okay, why are we here? To make money. We're not here to give excellent service. We're here to make money. So totally different story that they're teaching the manager.
The frustration from the manager's view is the more the people give out, the less they have to work with.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you provide that excellent service, you won't have that many complaints, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess that's what you focus on is let's have a day where there's no complaints today. Things like that. I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting, because even in the case study, when it said, well, they brought the leadership team together. Oh, and the tone changed from that. Woohoo, look at us, rah, 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 to, all right, let's get down to business and make me some money.
Well, I think they've done a great job with that, because yes, the bottom line is the most important. It is the business, because unless you're making money, I don't care how happy your employees are, they're not going to be happy when there's no paycheck.
True.
Okay. And it is really hard. I would think it would be really hard for the managers, because they're almost living like a double life, right? For those underneath them, yay, we're here, let's be all happy. And then for those up above, come on, where's the moonlight?
What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? But I think they've done a great job with that, because, if you walk into a place and all the employees are just as happy-go-lucky, how many complaints are you really going to have? Even if something horrible happened, if you were talking to someone who's just so happy with life, is the situation really that bad? I see that every day at work. I live in a very small town in Idaho, and we have a 2.5-hour wait just to get to the driver's license teller, which to some people that is nothing. Okay, but for us natives here, I mean, anything over 20 minutes, you are asking far too much of us, right? And so they come up to me, and they are just, you can tell they are in this foul mood that they're ready to yell at me. And when I kill them with kindness, they leave and they're just so happy. And it doesn't matter that they just waited 2.5 hours. It doesn't matter that I had to take a picture and they looked ugly and they were waiting in a hot room and their hair was a mess. It didn't matter.
Are you sure they're just not happy that they're finished?
Yeah.
Relief.
I don't care. I don't care as long as they're happy. As long as they're happy. Whether it's getting away from me or not, right? But at least with me and my experience, and I kind of saw this through the case study, that if all the employees, if the maids, if everyone, if they're all this happy-go-lucky, I love my job, I love being here, even the most worst situations aren't really that bad.
That's true. You can't stay angry at somebody who's not being condescending and is just in a happy place.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and so I think with the managers, it'd be really hard because with them, they're trying to keep us happy-go-lucky. And of course, if they keep us happy-go-lucky, there's less complaints, there's less money given out, there's more people coming back. There's your bottom line, folks, right there.
How often can you come back at $8,500 a night?
Apparently, there's a
It's on
lot of
who you are.
Apparently.
Yeah.
well,
Even the cheapest room at $5.99 a night.
well,
Yeah.
you look at some of the Disney hotels, and you might find that they're not that far off.
They're not, yeah. They're about three something. Yeah.
Go
Unless
with
you go to the Grand Floridian.
yeah. Well, I'm talking even just Disneyland.
Oh.
There's 600 and something right now.
My tent cost $20, and that's quite comfy to me.
I know with all my kids, I'm like, people stay in a hotel? Who has money for that? Like, I can never go out.
I know.
Yeah,
I
what?
hate sleeping in hotels with my kids. I can't do it.
You're always just afraid they're disturbing someone
There'll come a
around you.
time.
You're like, please be quiet. Please be quiet.
There'll come a time when you'll say, "Yeah, I can do that now."
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Earlier in
18,
life, it's pretty tough.
18, I gotta kick him out of the house, and it's just me and my wife again.
Staying at the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be so
Get the
fantastic.
pillowcase.
No, I will still probably have my tent, and I will still probably use it.
So my thoughts about the leadership style, I kind of got some different vibes. It was like who you're talking to, and like during the circumstances, their feelings changed dramatically. Like there was a member of upper management in the case study who was like, I'm going to show everyone that a ham sandwich can run a Ritz-Carlton. They talk about the value of their people and how their people make the work environment and make this day. And then behind their backs, they're like, yeah, you guys are ham sandwiches. Like, I just thought that some of their attitudes, just dependent on stance, were like really different than what they were putting out there. And that was what I pointed out. One of the things I pointed out was that, there needs to be a consistency in their talk, because dependent on what level they're at or what meeting they happen to overhear or whatever they're attending, they're seeing like anything from "we will rock you," "we're awesome," "we're all in this together," "share your hopes and dreams with me," to "you're a ham sandwich," to "you make stupid, pathetic mistakes." Like I didn't see any real need for the word stupid and pathetic in that in that conversation, but yeah, I thought, there was a lot of like variation down the line on how people were treated. I thought that was a weakness.
Good point.
Okay. Question is, should McBride lengthen the amount of time spent training? Detail why or why not.
I say yes. I mean, I think that I think 7 days, and for me, I think that if you extend the training a little bit and you get people up to speed quicker, maybe you get capacity quicker. Then instead of starting out at 50%, you could start out higher, because people feel more confident in the job that they're doing because they feel like they've been trained
Right.
appropriately. So then the money that you're spending on training is far offset by, 2 or 3 more rooms a night being sold because you can get up to capacity quicker. So obviously it's been working for them, but I still think I think it's too short. That's me.
From my point of view, I think that I think really what I think is I think the 7 days is actually sometimes good, because at some point you have to hit the real world. So there's the bottom line that's going to be a portion of the training time, but they have to be trained as they go. I know when I have people that work for me, they always have 2 days of training without question. Okay, um, jobs for certain things. If it's somebody that is technical, though, it could be weeks. Okay, it just depends on what the situation is. So if it's somebody that's going to be running electrical things, or getting into things that are quite complicated, that's one thing. Somebody that's doing housekeeping and the janitor, a daily routine that we work through, it takes time for them to get up to speed. Don't Yeah, I understand that, but they won't get up to speed unless they're actually doing it, and it has to be under live circumstances. And so that's where my thought process is. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I think that I think that they get the rah, and they get the this is why this is so important, but the life lesson is, okay, this is where I go from here. And so I don't know that an extra, unless they've got technical things they have to learn, I don't know where the extra time would help.
So you advocate leaving it as it is and opening at 50% capacity?
Yes,
okay.
I do, because number one, the other thing that I left out, they were not complete with construction completely. Okay, I mean, I haven't read the thing, but I could tell that they're, when they're running the fire alarms and the other stuff at the checking to verify that everything's working, that they weren't ready. Okay, so they don't want to bring in 8 million people extra to something that's not complete, and so it gives them a chance to work out the hitches that are there.
See, I could not agree more with Lee on this one. And I've done training for different jobs, but what came to my mind when I was reading it was the missionaries that go foreign. Okay, I went Spanish speaking, and that was back when you had 2 months, 3 months worth of 3 months worth of language study, right? And every day you're sitting there just pounding in your head. And when you got onto the streets, you couldn't even say, hello, my name is Elder so and so, right? And so what do? They shorten the time, because it doesn't matter if you have 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 2 years, unless you are out on those streets speaking that language every day, learning the gospel, you will never get it in your head. And so I agree with Lee when for the maids and the housekeepers and all them, just like Hosanna was saying, that is physical heavy, like that is hard work to do. You're not going to be able to sit there and do that while sitting at a desk learning what your job is. You're going to be able to do that by getting out and getting it done. You can only learn so much by studying it. It's the actual going out and doing it, that's where it comes in. The job I work at now, with driver's licenses, I'm still learning what to do. I mean, I've been there for 4 years and I still learn what to do. I can't sit there for 4 years and try and learn every single different scenario while not doing my job. So I think we should just keep it where it's at. do the 50%, and then work up to however it needs to be, because that's the fastest way to learn something is to do it.
What are your thoughts, Joan?
Well, I mean, I certainly, I don't disagree on that, that the fastest way to do it, to learn something is to do it. I think that that practical knowledge and actual hands-on is there's certain things you can't learn from a book. There's certain things you can't learn in a classroom. And we do a lot of pharmaceutical sales reps. That's what I work with. We do a lot of training for them, and this is how you, and this is how you'll say it, and all of that. And that's not really real world. You're not going to get 20 minutes in front of a doctor. You're not going to get 5 minutes in front of a doctor. Lucky you get 30 seconds. So you can teach all you want in a classroom, but once they start putting that skill to work, they're never really going to learn it. But as a training manager, I just 7 days to me is just not enough time.
Yeah.
So to learn even the culture, or the where everything's at in the hotel, to be able to, somebody stops you and says, where's the gym, or where's this, like it just isn't enough time for me. I think it's just not enough time.
The other thing they could have done is they could have sent a percentage of them to one of the running hotels and let them work there to learn, and then brought them back.
Mm-hmm.
So they were taking the culture that's already established and bringing it back. That's the thing that surprised me, is they weren't doing more of that, bringing somebody, sending out the people to, or a percentage of them to bring the culture from that's already existing someplace and bring it back and say, hey, look, this is what was going on. I mean, you can train them all you want, but if you're not there seeing it, it's different.
Right.
So I agree
yeah,
both ways.
I thought, I didn't feel like it was really enough time. I didn't feel like it should be really, really extended. I thought, maybe 2 weeks with regular days off. So 10 days of actual training. My thoughts on that were for a couple of reasons. One, they said that they had a high attrition rate because they hired a month before so there's 3 weeks and then the 7-day countdown of training. And, and during that 3-week period from when they hired till the 7-day countdown, they were calling the employees every few days. Are you still going to work here? Are you still going to work here? And lots of them were like, no, I got a different job. When you're a housekeeper or a dishwasher or a line, how long can you go without a paycheck? Like maybe you were already working and you have to put in 2 weeks notice. But it's just a really long period of time, and so they were losing their top pick staff. So I thought if they hired 21 days before the hotel opened and then started the training 14 days, they would lose fewer people. Maybe even if they hired 30 days out and gave them the chance to give a 2 weeks notice and then 14 days. Just because I didn't think it was a good idea to be learning at the expense of the customer in that service bracket, because things will be imperfect. And they were doing all these training runs where they were actually cleaning rooms. That's why they brought them in. So they were actually in there cleaning, actually serving meals and things, and actually cooking things. And so they were doing not real world experience, but made themselves to speed. And I had thought, like Lee, like it would be good if part of the training was like, okay, we're going to do 7 days here where we're going to get to know the hotel. Now you're going to spend, or 5 days of of actual work. But now you're going to spend 5 days in the Ritz-Carlton over here, and you're going to work with somebody who does your job, and you're going to see it, and you're going to do it at speed. Or I thought, you know, because Lee brought up that the hotels were unfinished. If it was too unfinished, they said that they had set up like mobile hotel rooms in hotels to show people what they were like. Not in hotels, in airports.
Right.
I'm like, if they have that ability, rent a conference center and set up a bunch of rooms and, you know, start doing, you know, dining
Set up
rooms and
like a mock reservation desk or mock
and
check-in
practice
desk.
for a while. I don't think 80% is realistic, even with a longer training period. I thought, you know, they could work with Millennium Partners for something more of a compromise, maybe 65%, or, you know, something like that. Just because I think $100 million invested buys a little more influence. And what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think it should buy influence beyond which paintings they choose, or do you think it's...
Well, see, that was the problem I had with the whole thing, is that had more influence on what was going on, as far as they were the ones putting out the money, and Ritz Carlton was actually working for them. Okay, and so gee, they were their bosses at that point, so they had to listen, and that's where the problem is that I see, because they just they wanted to have as much money come back immediately as they could, and you can't blame them. I mean, everybody wants the money to come right back.
Right.
Okay, but and that's what the whole dilemma was, is you know, is there enough time? Should we have taken the time in front to prepare, and could they have? I mean, I know you said rent a conference center and whichever. That's quite expensive as it is. Okay, and to have the same experience in a conference center really isn't the same. So I don't know. That's where I throw my hands up. Carl, the Ritz, they've done this before, but I also noticed that there was some problems not too long in front of this, that they actually had a lot of hotels that closed. And so that was the other thing that worried me, is that they had opened a lot of hotels, but there was a lot that closed. And why did they close? If you understand what I'm trying to get at, is I don't think it was the service that, you know, closed. So
yeah, a lot of the hotels closed during recessions, they said, during the recessions of the 80s and things like that. So they definitely had difficulties during recessions, because, I mean, with room prices like that, like who's gonna afford that? You know, around during the Depression, because there was a wealthy patron who kept it going with funds. With what you were saying about conference centers being expensive, and the extra training would be expensive too, but
yes.
when they're talking about how 5% of dissatisfaction would be 200,000 people dragging their name through the dirt and losing them $300 million, the expenses might be cheaper than running at a less experienced or less trained level, because they might make an enemy, you know, from not having as much training.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Any other thoughts? Oh, first, reading. How does this apply to our reading? Does anyone know? Have any ideas? I didn't see a lot of application, but maybe you guys are awesome at applying things. I don't know.
How did it apply to our extra rating?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, they're obviously trying to build teams. So, I mean, did they do well on some of the 5 dysfunctions? Did they do poorly? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I think they're trying to build build trust within the organization, and obviously, they all are focused on the same results, right? So they're all kind of marching forward for the same results. They have that trust. Are they avoiding conflict? I don't really know about that. So I think that some of it, I think the reading was kind of the case study was really more kind of broad with a lot of people.
Right.
When you're talking a team, it's got to be a manageable number of people. This was talking hundreds of people. As a management team, I think that they did okay because even when he was working with the Millennium folks, with the financial partners, they had no trouble kind of telling each other, this is what I think you should do. Okay, well, thanks for telling me what you think I should do, but I'm really the one that's going to do what I think is right. And so I think that they kind of handled conflict pretty well there.
Yeah.
Listen to each other. They seem to work pretty well together.
They also were able to look at their weaknesses and see what mistakes they might make and try to come up with a plan to avoid those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking really quickly at the the questions at the end here, seeing if where they take it.
Okay. All right. And so they asked me to look up how they did. And honestly, I had a lot of trouble finding things that were newer than like 2015, but it looks like they're still doing really, really well. They're still one of the most, the highest rated hotels. And from what I found, they have moved to a 10-day countdown to give them some more training. What they now open at for their percentages. But, it seems like they felt like $700 million made them do that concession, or maybe they found other reasons why, like we maybe talked about. So, yeah. Any last comments?
I love having this class with you guys.
This is such a good group.
I missed you guys last week.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no group meeting. Yeah, I think we really lucked out and got a good group. I've had some.
I really agree.
Really good groups at BYUI, and I've had some that were like pulling teeth to get any sort of conversation going. It's like, come on, guys, please say something. So this one's been awesome because everybody's just great.
Well, and we're respectful to each other. Like, in this group, there's always that one who just won't ever shut their mouth.
That's me.
And I hope that's not me. I hope that's not me.
I think it's me. We all think it's us. We all think
it's like me. Yeah. It was me.
Yeah, it's good. We all have an opinion here.
Mm-hmm.
So, alrighty. Well, Jordan, hey, get some sleep.
Yeah, well done, everybody. Thanks for
no promises.
Yeah, thanks for contributing tonight, guys. Do we know
2 more weeks? 2 more weeks.
Do we know who has it next week? Who's in charge of the meeting?
I know it's not me.
I'll check, and if we don't have anybody, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Lee.
But if we
I
do,
thought-
I'll let them.
Yeah, I thought we had somebody assigned for every week. No.
We did
I
have
thought
everybody
so,
come
too.
for every
The
week.
two,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So, if somebody wants to look it up and send out an email, that'd be awesome, so that person knows. So, thanks, Lee. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I had saved that somewhere.
Oh,
yeah, I
have it
keep
over
having to
here.
scroll back through. I thought I saved it, but I didn't. So,
Oh, here it is, group leader. So this is lesson 12. Oh, we only
So-
went to lesson 12.
I assume we have
Yeah.
a group meeting next week, right? I think we're supposed to present about our project, aren't we?
But yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think that there's a group meeting. I think that let's see.
Oh,
This is 321, right? Because I
Yeah.
get the
Yeah.
yeah.
classes
Yeah.
mixed up.
I get mine
So-
mixed up too because lots of them have these big projects, like whole semester projects for me this time, and it's like I'm
Mhm.
exhausted. I can't do all of these projects. Like,
Mhm.
Lesson info. Let's see.
All right, sorry, folks. I got another meeting at 9:15, so I've got to run.
okay,
Yeah.
see you later, Jordan. Good night.
Take care. Oh, it does say meet with your group at appointed time to discuss the case. So Lee, I don't know if you want to take it, that'd be great. Because we
Okay.
didn't put anybody in for it. We only went up to 12, to 13. Yeah, to 12.
Okay.
Here
I'll
to do it because I've only done it this once, but I'm moving this week again, so we.
Oh my
Went to our-
gosh, are you kidding me?
Well, we went to a temporary place until our house closed, and now we can move into our actual house. So I'm just like, like, so
Oh my
good.
gosh.
yeah,
That would make me that would truly make me nuts.
yeah, it's been so hard. And the house that we're renting right now, the man who owns it, I think he was a rug merchant. He's Iranian, and there's like so many rugs in this house, and they're so nice, right? And I've got all these little kids, and I'm like, don't touch the rugs, don't step
Sit
on
in the
it.
corner. Sit in the corner.
Yeah, it's like if you take any food outside of the kitchen, you're grounded for the rest of your life. So it's been kind of a stressful place to live, but it was the only thing we could find. So
Walk the edges.
All right. Well done.
go around the rugs. So anyway,
Go around the rug.
but willing to do
All
that,
right.
Lee. So
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's great. Thank you for
Not a
doing
problem.
that. So take care.
good night, guys.
And,
Thank you.
good night.
All right, talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.